Module 15 Transaction CRUD. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check out our other how-to videos from this channel. Also, subscribe and share. It will be helpful for the channel. So it's been almost 2 months. October 5th was my first YouTube video I created, and we have come a long way. I have produced more than 40 videos, tutorial videos, and you are welcome to look through these videos. I am sure many of these are helpful to your programming. And thank you for watching. Not just today. This past weekend, I added this button, and I just want you to be aware of this button. It's called donation. So if you would like to donate $1 or $2, just click on that link, and it should bring you to the to there, a PayPal. So you can donate. Maybe I'll have enough money to buy a new computer to do more videos. Alright, well, let's get back to our programming, which is coding. In this tutorial, we will be adding 3 objects and a table to our CMS. The objects will be transaction as a class module, transaction DB access as a module, and a transaction type ID as a module. We will also create a table named transaction. Alright, let's go to our C drive, access projects. Let's go to copy this module 14, Control C, Control V, and then oops, we meant to rename that guy to 15. We are moving on. 15. Let's call this one is transaction CRUD. Yep. So we're just going to build the table. Let's go in there and pop that open. In this video, in this tutorial or lesson, we are just going to add a new table called transaction. We're going to add the class object and the DB access layer. So let's go ahead and go to a create tab, table design. Let's set the transaction number. Alright, and that would be all string. And then we would have a how about the transaction type? Alright, transaction type ID, that would be a number. Customer number. Yeah. What else do we need? Transaction, customer. How about order number? Now this one it's not required, it could be empty. So the order number, order date, or transaction date rather, transaction date, that would be date and time. Let's see what else. How about transaction void? How about voided? This will be a number. Yep, this will be a number. Let's change that number to integer, not long integer, just an integer. Let's see, how about amount? Yeah, that would be a number. And we're going to change that guy to double. And last, let's call this a memo. And we're going to make the transaction number a primary key. Control S, name that guy transaction, like so. So we should have 8 fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Alright, I'm going to close that down. Back to query design. Gonna pop the transaction in there. I am interested in these items. Oops. And then we're going to create a class for it. So I'm going to grab this guy. Control C, close. No save. Now let's go to class module. And in the name, we'll call it transaction. And then we can just say private, paste what we just put in there. And then I'm going to control F, replace transaction dot replace 8 of them. Yep, good. Okay. Now we'll put an S in there. That will be integer. An S there. An S there. And then behind that, I'm just going to say a string. Here will be as date, and here will be as integer, and this guy will be as double. And then I'm going to move memo to s memo. Oops, like so. I'm going to copy this guy, transaction type ID, to right behind this guy, like so. Alright, that's that. Now let's control S, transaction. Good. Now we are going to create this guy, the module. So you can just select any one of these guys, say insert, and as usual, come down here to the name right here, transaction DB access. Control S. Oh, that's weird. it should pop up the transaction DB access. Well, anyways, let's type it in. Transaction DB access. That should have been, see there? Ah, it already has what? No, did it? Okay, let's cancel that. That's weird. Where'd that come from? That module. Okay, anyways, let's continue. Nothing in it. I don't think we're finished with this transaction. You see there? I was moving too fast. We haven't finished with that one yet. My bad. Alright, let's go to customer. I'm gonna grab these top two properties right here. Copy. And then there are 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's 8. And then let's go to the top. Let's replace that guy. And then the customer number. Customer number. So if you have been following me and watching me code, I appreciate it. As I mentioned in my intro, this is untraditional coding. It is traditional coding as far as object-oriented, but not for the access. Access, they will not teach you how to code like I do. Yeah, they want you to use macros and this and that and a lot of cut and paste and hard code in the query, which you should not hard code anything, period. Alright, but this is object programming, so this will be a date, so make sure you change that to a date. I'll go ahead and change this guy. Oopsie, not that one. I'll go ahead and change this guy to a date. But yeah, this is object programming. Yeah. So if you learn how to code the way I'm showing you right now, you will be able to learn how to code in any languages, because this will be an integer. Yeah, anytime you know the data type, go ahead and change it. Otherwise, you're gonna get yeah, you're gonna know why. Yeah, this is object-oriented programming, and this is the separation of concern as well, meaning we separate out the front end from the back end. You see, we're working with the code right now, alright, for the back end. So right now we're not even touching the front end. We're making sure that the back end is right. So the next one is transaction type ID, like so. Go ahead and change that to integer. And if you can separate out the from front end separate out the back end from the front end, you now are not touching the live data. The only time you want to touch the live data or records is when you actually explicitly tell it to you. Or this, yeah, let's make this guy D in front here. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to modify live records. Now, the traditional coding in Access, you would touch the records live, and that could be problematic if you unintentionally change the records. All right. Here we don't change a record unless we really want to change a record. All right, let's create the new object, private sub class underscore. Make sure you type that in there. There. And then the first thing comes to mind, actually. Yeah, it's fine. Transaction number, customer number, order number. Yeah, you don't touch a live record unless you intend to touch the record. So let's make that today's date. Voided equals, that would be not void. Transaction type, ID 0. I'm still debating, should we put in a 0? Well, the transaction type is going to be either credit or debit. You know what? Let's make a 1. That would default it to, yeah, let me show you. So we should have 8. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now let me show you. Let's go in here. Just select any one of these objects. Insert module. Alright. And then right here, module, we're going to call transaction type. Alright. And then public constant debit as integer. Let's make this a 1. That's alright. Public, just in case we want to add more transaction type. Alright. So credit. We'll see how we go with this one. If we need to make changes, yeah, we'll make changes. Control S, save both of them, and close that down. I think we should be able to access that guy. Make it a debit. Debit. There. Alright. So you want to default it to debit unless the payment is being made. Then you say it's credit. Or a customer or company give it a credit to the account. Okay, so I think we got everything there. Let's jump to this transaction DB access that we created. Alright, so now in here I was looking at this guy right here. As I was saying, this is good. So we're gonna grab this guy from this function right here, get new customer number here. Grab that guy all the way up to the top, right there. Control C and close that guy. And then once we're in here, paste. So now we're gonna create our own number. Create new transaction number. Here is a transaction number. From transaction. Order by transaction. Alright. And then this guy is a transaction number. Yeah. So here we can change this to TRA. If we conform to oops. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and copy that guy. Double click, double click, double click. So that would be good. So if we conform to our standards, then it makes things easier to code. So and each and not all programmers code the same way. They might have same idea, but the way they name, the naming convention, those little things. But all in all, they code the same way. This one says transaction here. So we're going to conform to transaction. I'll go ahead and copy that guy, put right there. Okay. And then we're going to change this old transaction as transaction here, there, as transaction number. Change that. Yeah, so it's there's a lot of typing. But that's alright. You love what you're doing, that's why you're here. Oh, don't forget this guy. And now how come we don't get all intelligence? Why? So that means something's not right. That means something's not right. Copy that guy. Yeah. Let's go back in there and see what's going on in here. Did we miss something? Oh, amount is string. You see there? Change that to double. Double. Let's see what else. Type. You see here? Integer. So anytime you have this mistype, it will tell you that you cannot create a new object. Something's not right. So let's go back to the top and just work it down. So we've got string, 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 date, date, and void is integer, integer, type, integer, integer, double, double. I think we're good now. All right, Control S and close that down. Let's see. There you go. That's better. So that's what happened when you if something's not right in that class, it's gonna let you know. It's going to let you know. Uh, Customer number. What's next? Order number. Now this order number could be empty, alright, as I mentioned earlier. So if it could be empty, you do this. Yeah. The rest should not be empty. Customer number should not be empty. Transaction number should not be empty. Anytime you think that the field could be empty, you make it replace. But this guy should not be empty. It has to be one of the other, one or the other. Amount should not be empty. So then you will validate this in the front end, all right? And then memo. Now memo could be empty just in case. So we'll do OS memo like so. While we're at it, I was looking at this guy. Let's go back to this transaction and change that to transaction DB access get new like so. Then you don't have to worry about it. All right, let's close it. There's not a whole lot to remember, just a little bit of everything. And here, transaction save, let's change that to transaction saved. Oh, do we have that one in there? Yeah, good. Transaction. Transaction number. Good. So we'll go, yeah, transaction number. Like so. Customer number, that's good. So I'm going to get rid of this guy. RS order number equals NC. But this should be this guy should already be massaged from the front end right here. All right. So, but just in case, it's all right to do this. All right. In case the it was not massaged from the front end. And these are the fields that could be updated. These are the fields could be updated. Order number. What else we have in there? Transaction type. Type ID. OS memo, OS amount. You will have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're missing 2. Void it. OS. Let's see where does it belong. Voided transaction date. Voided and transaction date. Yeah. Voided. Like so. Alright, and let's change this guy to, I'm just going to go copy this guy. It's within my reach. I can do that. Alright, let's moving on. Now, this one, we don't delete transaction. Once it is entered, it is entered. Alright, but you could void it or unvoid it. Alright, so let's call this transaction. Yeah, let's call this void transaction. Alright, and change this to sub and remove this return items. Transaction number, and then instead of delete we'll say update. Transaction set voided equals, is voided meaning it's 1, where transaction number like so, and then we're just going to call void transaction. Oh no, because it's not a function, so there's no need. But right here we're going to say void transaction. Alright, now let's copy this guy. In case we change our mind, we'll say unvoid transaction, and then we'll just set this reverse. That's it. And then here again, unvoid. Simple enough. So we got our CRUD, our table. Yeah, we got our CRUD, our table, and our class object. And that's that. Alright, and that's that. We added the transaction type. Now if you want to add category to the transaction, you can. Alright, we're not going to in this demo, but that's what we have. Alright, so we're going to be entering records for this guy in the new video. In the next video, not new video, in the next video we're going to add the front end. Alright, that way we could work with the back end, the one we just coded. So we just finished the back end code. Alright, 3 objects. Transaction, that's a class object. Transaction type, that's a constant object. And then we have the access data access layer, which is use the action methods to talk to the database. All right, so that's that for now. That is that for now. Stay tuned to the next video where we're going to be working with the form. All right, these guys. All right, happy programming. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, share, and hit that bell. And also comment below, and if you need help, inbox me. Thanks again.